Yo, someone whispered me that they just dropped this video. They dropped a 10-minute video. when they put this out? This wasn't even, wow, this was like, what, 30 minutes ago? No. Oh, man. Man, they just put out a video. Oh, brother. Yo, Last of Us has been a PR mess for 2 straight games now. Last of Us 2 and now this remake. Yo, what the frick is this about? Oh, this is bad. They really dropped this. Naughty Dog. Man, I tell you what. The Last of Us Part 1 rebuilt for boy, I tell you what, this company, man. I'm coming, Joel.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint.
Don't it look like this man just got done crying or something? Why he look tired or like he been crying?
What we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original visions of what the first game would have been, had we not been constrained by technology.
You fed up with the leaks? Well, do something about it.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us. It gave us opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity. Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth. You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters.
My man said the pupil depth.
Aside from that, the facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So that man look
like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right?
My man, David look like a real creep now. I like it.
Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue. Like glue. Like glue. Got it. Good. Good.
We are able.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue. Like glue. Like glue.
Yo, low key, bro. It's been so long, I forgot about these two.
Got it. Good. Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions.
That's my fucking
motion
brother.
scripting.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories happen in gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Yo, why y'all feel like they put this out today? Yo, these suckers was like, yo, you see what they saying about our game? Hey, drop that trailer now. Hey, but I need to see the gameplay though.
Riley, come here.
That's what I need to see.
One of
It's on 10 minutes, so
things that the
goddamn.
PlayStation
Gotta
5
show
is
some
really
gameplay.
enabling
Almost
is
11
that we're
minutes.
able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in. Materials can have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Around him!
Our AI tech has just increased
Boy,
incredibly.
for a second,
What we
I
were
thought
building
this was factions. I don't know why that just. I guess because I saw names. Did these suckers go into the? Oh, they going to the AI
sending objects
now.
flying
They
left and
really
right.
trying
Seeing
to.
things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
and it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Around him!
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
I couldn't
Now,
tell from
how
that
the enemies
gameplay.
are communicating with each other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Man, these suckers.
One of the other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain
y'all
that feeling
believe
of
'em?
stealth much more believably.
But they capping through their teeth.
Another big enhancement to the gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a button.
Yo, you know what someone said on the freaking vid that I uploaded today? This joke was probably one of the stupidest comments I've. This was some of the hardest sheep dick sucking I've ever seen for this game. Because I was saying how, like, you know, most people assumed that this was gonna have Last of Us 2 gameplay and like mechanics, and this sucker said, what did he freaking say? Let's not like look up the comment, but he said something to the extent of, oh, if they add jumping prone for Joel, it doesn't really match his character. That's more so for Ellie. I'm like, a jump and a prone mechanic doesn't match Joel? I was like, bro, the reach
of animations.
is going
A
to.
mocap actor has gone in.
He's
and
like, no,
run this
because
whole
Joel is
gauntlet
too
of
big. I'm
movements
like,
to get a
bro,
really
suckers
full
is
set
acting.
of all the
Freaking
different ways a
suckers
person
is
can move.
acting like
And then
Joel
it's
is
basically
300
every
plus
frame
pounds.
Trying to find the best matching
Like he
animation
can't.
that fits the path of where
Like,
the
bro,
character's
what?
going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for. For
A
example,
photo
we now have a
mode. We haven't
permadeath
seen
mode.
that before.
Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see
Anthony
how
Caliber.
fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we
Award-winning.
offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
That's crazy how they
As she
added
surveys the
all that
apartment,
little
her eye-
extra stuff, but they couldn't add in. Let me
Eyes
just
wander
shut
to
up,
Joel.
bro.
She steps past the
tired of
couch.
talking
He
about
wears the
factions at this
wristwatch
point.
Sarah
Frick
gifted
it.
him,
I don't care.
which now has
Let
a
it
cracked
die.
face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
That beard though.
And that's really the way we've tried
Well,
to
I
push
don't
the
pluck
frontier
it.
of accessibility on this game.
Oh, they really. This junk is 11
So much of
minutes.
the
dog, yo,
identity of
this
The
sucker's-
Last of Us is the world.
If they had this junk, because with all the stuff that they already had this junk ready, it seems like, because there's no way that they put all of this junk together today. If they already had this trailer ready, why did it have to come to a leak? Almost the same junk that happened with Last of Us 2. Like freaking Last of Us 2, the whole plot got a leaked, and then like they put out a freaking story trailer for that. Like, remember we was like waiting for like a release date for Last of Us 2, and it took Last of Us 2's plot getting leaked for them to give us a release date. Yo, I don't know what's going on over at Naughty Dog lately, bro. I really don't.
We revamped completely the art direction.
These
You know,
niggas clearly
everything
had this trailer done
from
already.
these expansive vistas that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more
can
visceral
really
way.
feel.
The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that
I ain't
sort
gonna
of
lie.
release
I like the
in
way Tesla.
visceral way. The
Tesla.
rooftops overlooking the Capitol
Damn, they're
building,
like a
for
real
example,
life
like just the
white
breath
Karen.
of fresh
Look at that. God damn.
air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then, you know, to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel
dank.
feel, that humidity, you can actually feel it. All these environments
feel
are
the
just completely
humidity, chat.
reimagined.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room.
This is what I was looking forward to. Remember how the Stalkers was in Last of Us 2? I was imagining that Last of Us 2 gameplay and how the Stalkers were in that on this specific scene. You remember this scene down when you got to turn on the freaking generator? Oh my
And you're
God! this
hearing
one-
them
this
trying to
junk
get it
would've been
behind
so
you.
long.
Having that two-part reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it just really heightens that sense of just being grounded. You are in this character, you are in this world. Now, with the PlayStation 5, the amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool.
The
All the
DualSense.
guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance.
Adaptive
and then as the bow
triggers.
gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger.
These suckers are
When
trying to
you
sell
are
this game
aiming
right
and
now.
firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And
The
then
haptic.
what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're
The
going to get a
haptic
haptic
vibration.
vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like
think they
speaker
got
in it.
they could at least
And it's
added, like,
playing
the
an
dismember
audio
mix that
file
was in
that
Last of Us
comes
2.
through in the vibrations.
When you would
And
like shoot
those
off
two
suckers' arms
beats
and legs.
is what you're going to feel on the controller.
This looks like a good spot.
This was like
This also ties in
$30
to
to
the
$40
new workbench animations.
probably would cost.
So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're gonna get that haptic feedback on that. We have, haptics all across the board, for all the moments you kind of expect, for clambering, jumping, landing, meleeing, getting meleeed, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So
Got
it's
this on
like
sale?
when
Yeah,
Joel
it
goes
was
in
like
to pet the
$30.
giraffe,
Max
getting that
40?
little
I'd cop
light
it for
touch on the
$70.
haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
it's not worth it.
To me, that's the essence
Did
of
they
The Last
just
of
say
Us.
the haptics when you're petting the giraffe?
Enhance the really quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe. To me, that's the essence of The Last
The
of
light
Us.
touch.
It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. You're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can, and that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
You got a bad stench in the air. You gotta sell it the best they possibly can.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's a technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
$70. I couldn't say it. Oh, it is coming on a PC.
Definitive way to play The Last of Us.
$70, please. Yeah. What did that junk at, like a cool 30 or 40? I'd cop. 70? No habla. Speak English.